Hi Divas! As promised, I'm doing a WIP and chat. This is more progress on my Josephine wall mystery kit, and I hope I haven't given away too much, but I'm just going to be working on this section here. Praying you can see everything. By the looks in the camera, I can just barely see it. I'm using two of my own cover minders. One is a Diva Crown that I made. This is in gold, and I have a plate underneath here that I'm using to hold it in place. A little metal plate. And this is another one of my brand new cover minders. This is the Sweet Tangerine, and it has pink wax in it. And yes, it is a cover minder. It will stay here the entire time so that I can dip my pen in and continue to use it. I have nothing in my pen at the moment, so I'm going to dip in. Now I have the plastic removed from the top of it, and this is a brand new one. I haven't been using it very much. I do use the pink wax, you know, I just do. It melts away. I do tend to wipe over my canvases very lightly with the damp cloth before I do much else with them, before I frame them up. So this type of a section will last me, how many hours will it last me? It will be hours. So no doubt I will run out of I will run out of space on my camera as I'm doing the WIP and chat. What else do I use? I use the tray that I got from Diamond Art Club in the new kits that has the stopper. I love these stoppers. I am in love with the stoppers. I just am. It's so awesome. What I use also, I use the tweezers, the sharp tweezers a lot. Sometimes the pointy ends get a little bit verhutzt. Sorry, that's a Dutchy word. They get a little bit mangled, so that I throw them out and get a new one. I have enough of those. I also use a pen with the straightener on the end. That sometimes when you're not going row by row, or when you're doing a bigger section at a time, you need to get in there and straighten some of those drills up. Alright, so I use the long straightener for that. I also use, for my ABs, I use a wax pencil. And if you've been to my Etsy shop, Wandasworkbasket at Etsy.com, you will find I sell these. They're longer. This is like twice as long. I break them in half. I put on a scrunchie, and I keep the end of it fairly pointy, and I use this for the ABs, the sparkly ones. That way it doesn't take the extra shiny stuff off the top, and it doesn't scratch them either. You can use these for your entire canvas if you want to. I find that you get more alignment with the thinner tabs. This is an everlasting tip, a silver everlasting tip. They are a little fatter than the normal ones, so sometimes it's a little difficult getting the diamonds in place. When I'm starting a row, when I'm starting a whole section over again, I use the tweezers very much. As I'm filling them in, if I have to fill in a big space, I use the tweezers and place every other one in a checkerboard, and then I come back in with the pen to fill it in. So I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to keep going on this, so I need to take out some drills. What I like to do, really, I just pull one of these out. I pull out the one at the bottom. When I'm done, I stick it in the top, pull out the next one out of the bottom, and do it that way, and I just go across. It's very simple. A really simple way to do it. I do have some C's up here. I don't see any R's. Oh, you want to know what's underneath it. Do I use a light pad? Yes, I do. I have a light pad underneath here, and I will turn it on momentarily. You will find on my YouTube site, look through the past, you'll see where I got an unboxing of this light pad. It has a magnetic thing at the top, but it is one of those, I put a cover over it. That's on light, and it has several settings. A blue, a yellow, and a bright. And then you can gradually dim it or gradually bring it back up. Okay? This is a rather large canvas, so as I showed in a different video, at the end of my last, what I got done in the month, I have this on a foam roller and clipped in place on the ends here. Okay, and I just have it draped over the pad. Alright, at the bottom, what I like to do is tuck. Oh, and the light pad has an easel stand on it too, which I love. So anyway, I go underneath it. I'm not sure what you can see at this point, but I'm just tucking the excess canvas underneath. Now you can do this with a poured glue canvas that still has the plastic on it. You can do it that way because it will not get the wrinkles that a double-sided tape will do. I just wanted to show you that this is what I'm using for the work that I'm doing on the Josephine wall. I have this storage box that came for pictures that you can get. These are the original boxes that come in there, and I put all my extra diamonds in these. Okay, and I have 3 of those boxes in here, and I also have 3 that I kitted up with the diamonds that go with the Josephine wall kit. So I just wanted to make sure I showed you these, and that's how I'm bringing them out. I will go back to the canvas now and show you some more. Alrighty, Rooney, let's get started. So I just pick the R. That's the next one on the list. I shake them about, do the hokey pokey, and I shake them all about. Take a sip of tea. I have to have my tea. Right now it's in a Cape May mug. Nice hot tea to start it up. Oh man. Fabulous. Okay. Here we go. I'm not sure exactly how much you can see, but I'm drilling the R's right now. Just filling them in. I like to go from the bottom up. And this will be more of a whip and chat than a teaching video, but I like to keep you company while you are doing your fun stuff. While you are doing your diamond painting or embroidery or counted cross stitch or painting or junk journaling or scrapbooking or whatever you're doing. I would love to know what you're doing with, while I'm whip and chatting, while I'm tea and talking. I like to call them tea and talks. But since everybody else calls them whips, works in progress, excuse me. So anyway, I'm doing this, and it is April. It's actually Palm Sunday today. It is miserable outside. It's in the 50s. It's rainy and cold. My husband doesn't feel well. He's got a headache. He's doing extra at work so he can get ready to go to Arizona to be down with his dad again and get some things, help him get some things settled there. So, oh, do I use the multi-placers? I hear somebody thinking. Yes, I do. I have a 4, multi-placer 4 on the end. And you'll see me using it now and again, like right about here. Pick it up on the side, angle it in, and roll it down. Ta-da! Oop, get up there. Come on. Okay. But when I've only got 2 or 3 and they have to go in between others, I don't bother with the multi-placer. I think we're going to redo our kitchen. Not I think, I know. We're going to redo our kitchen. I'm going to get all the floors redone, carpets and tile and and laminate flooring that's supposed to last. I'm going to get all that done. I want to get professional cleaners in to give everything a really good cleaning. Okay, I'm going to put the R's back and I'm going to work with the C's next. It's next in line. Excuse my allergies. Shake, 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 shake your booty. Shake your booty, baby. And I'm sorry for the traffic going on outside. I'm sorry for my absolute craziness sometimes. Do I miss some of the letters this way? Yes, I do. But I go through every little palette, and then at the end, I only have a few to fill in here and there, the ones I missed. Yeah, you know, it's allergy season, so we're all up. See, I missed those R's, so I'll go back and pick them up before I move on to a third color. So, I was wondering if you ever wanted to do a live. If I do a live, would anybody like to join me on like a Facebook Live? Or a YouTube Live? Probably a YouTube Live, because not all of you use Facebook. I need to put my things up on Instagram more often too. Somebody said that would boost my ratings here. And I'm just doing it for fun. I like you guys having you guys as company, you divas as company, guys and gals, guys and dolls. I am planning my mother's 80th birthday dinner. That should be coming up in a month. And in another video, I told you what day my mother's birthday is, and that is the day of our next giveaway. It's in May. I'll give you that clue. I straighten them out with a tweezers. I'm talking and not watching what I'm doing here. Sometimes they just slide elsewhere. And I love Diamond Art Club's drills. They are resin. They are close. They're always so nice and neat, and most of them have very little trash in them. They're uniform in size so that when they go on the canvas, they line up like little soldiers in a row here. You see any more C's in this block that I'm missing? I don't know. Alright, I'm going to go pick up those 2 R's. I just dunk my pen in sometimes. If I'm only picking up 1 or 2, I just dunk the pen in. Alright, I see some E's that are next in line. I like working on a big chunk at a time, even though it takes longer to get that chunk done. To me, it doesn't matter because I see progress. I see progress. My son is 36, has moved into a new apartment that's closer to his work. My mother, the 80-year-old, is that all the E's that there was? Yeah, it looks like it. Next one is N. Do I have another any N's? Just a few. She and her boyfriend helped him move into his new apartment. You know, going to the dollar store, Dollar Tree to get some beginning plates and stuff like that, and pantry items, and going to Aldi's to fill up his pantry. It's a huge pantry, bigger one than I had in an apartment before. So I'm happy for him. Of course, I forgot to give him a can opener in my packet of goodies that I sent along to his apartment. I was working, that's why I didn't get to go yesterday. I will go down. I was going to go down today, but Mark's not feeling well, so we didn't go down today. So I'm hanging out with you today instead. I know these cars sound like airplanes going by. That's the only thing with doing them here. Until I have my new craft room, when I can have a dedicated space away from the road. I'm going to have to put up with a little bit of road. You know, you have no idea the editing I go through to get rid of the majority of the traffic noise outside. It just keeps going and going and going, and I have to repeat myself if I think about it while I'm yapping. So I can cut out some of it. And no, I don't have a whole lot of popping going on. I'm not a real hard pusher, to be honest with you. These are the R's again, because I see I missed them all over here. I'm not a real hard pusher. I usually do this on my lap in front of the TV, so I can see your YouTube videos. And I listen to Reddit, you know, Neighbors from Hell and relationships and that kind of thing. There's where they read Reddit posts. I listen to those too. Sometimes I tape a lot during the week that I don't get to see, and I watch that. Yes, I put washi tape up on the edge of the of the plastic so that I know where this section ends as I'm doing it. Makes it easier for me. Yeah, this is usually my lap, and I usually end up pushing it back and pushing it back and pushing it back. Then I gotta pull it forward again. Oops. There we go. Wish I could see what you're seeing at the moment. Okay, so then I just put it at the top of the tray and push them down. And I grab the next one. Do I have V's, percents, G's, or arrow down? I think I've done this before, because I didn't... Wait, I have some arrow down here. So maybe I didn't get them all after all. Okay. It doesn't matter where I start. My fibromyalgia has been under control for the most part. Not completely, but for the most part. Right now, my shoulder blade on my left side is spasming. And that frickin' hurts. It hurts like crazy. It has these little electric shocks that shoot down to my elbow from my shoulder. I had gotten, that's where I get the fibro pain the most. My neck and my shoulders. But, come on now. Slide, slide, slide. I have this crazy thing I do. I like to finish, if I'm going to finish a tray, I like to finish all the diamonds in the tray before I get more of that same color. It's just crazy. Here comes a motorcycle. Good, it didn't come our way. I had started coming down. My daughter took her son to the Flyers game last night. I saw her Facebook post of her and my grandson in the Flyers stadium with their jerseys on, and the gift was Chia Pet, like Flyers Chia Pets. So they each got a Chia Pet thing. You know, it grows that alfalfa hair, the seeds. That's too funny. So they had a good time. And so that's what my grandkids are doing. I don't know what my granddaughter's doing. I guess she was with her other Grammy. Because like I said, I had to work, and her father has them on the weekends. Any other arrow down? Okay, no. All right. I don't see any of the G's or the percent. I think I did those already. I know I did this. I did not do the stars or the L's. They're all over the place, so. What's next? That was tea time. Blue stars. I can't really tell you what's going on at the telephone answering service. But let me tell you, when it gets to be close the week before a full moon, people come out of the woodwork that would not normally, are not normally on the phone. And they have all kinds of crazy problems. I wish I could tell you some of them. But since you know me, it would be easy to find out where I worked, and I'd have to keep that stuff anonymous. But I can tell you what I wish doctors' offices would, if they're going to call their clients after hours, which means other patients after hours, and they do. All offices do this. They call their patients after they've shut the office down. And when they shut the office down, they send all their calls over to us as an answering service. Now we have several doctor's accounts, okay? And sometimes they neglect to send a prescription in, like especially on a Friday, that these people want on a weekend. These people hear from their doctor after hours, and they think, oh, my doctor just called. They're there. All I have to do is call back and reach my doctor. And that's not the case. If they've put the phones over to us at the answering service already, we can only take a message as the instructions from that doctor's office go. Now, some are different, but most of them, we have to take a message and send it over to the closed office or the doctor on call. And some of them call because the prescriptions haven't been sent in to their pharmacy. and they need this stuff for the weekend, and it's getting late in the day, and then they get upset if they need their prescription, especially if it's pain pills, I'm telling you. But they get so upset, and then they take it out on us. Now, we're the only people they can take it out on because we're the only people they can contact. They can't get back to their doctor because we, as the answering service, are going to be in the way. Right? We're like the first line of defense. So they yell at us. And it's not our fault. Some of them recognize this and they're really sweet about it, but some of them just get so frustrated they don't know what to do. And one gentleman was very frustrated this past weekend. But he asked for my name. We're allowed to give our first names. And I told him, and he thanked me for being patient with him, and I helped calm him down, and he said that, he was very upset, and he needed it, and it wasn't there for him, and his doctor didn't let us get those type of calls through. A lot of them say over the weekends, we're not taking prescription refills, so you'll have to call back on Monday. And the problem is, they need this med because they've waited too late to call in a refill, or their insurance won't let them get the refill any sooner. So they're without it for the weekend. And, if it's life-threatening, like insulin or something like that, we get that right over to the doctor. They allow that. But most prescriptions, they don't let... It's just they would be constantly calling the pharmacy and not having any time off if they didn't do that. Otherwise, I understand why they do that. But do it before you're finished with the day, please. Before you turn the phones over, get those prescriptions to the pharmacy, please. You guys work on computers most of the time now. It's easy for you with the portal to just zoom them over so that people don't call up irate. Well, I need them before they close, before the pharmacy closes. Well, I'm not in charge of when the doctor calls you back. I'm in charge of getting your message to them speedily. I'm not in charge of what the doctor does once they get the message. Please understand. Yeah, I'm not griping, but Fridays and Saturdays are always like that. And we get people upset that their car got impounded and they can't get to their car on Monday because we can't give them that number. I mean, we have people that have legitimate problems. And it's wonderful when somebody's water breaks and you have to tell them, go to the hospital and we'll notify the doctor for you, wait for the doctor there, That's the fun ones. And you get some other fun ones in a mix. And you get some sweet, sweet people. And there's some elder care ones that are just looking for home help care. There are people that are lonely and need to chat. So they'll use any excuse to call whomever. And they'll chat with whomever they get on the line. Because they're lonely. And I get that. But Fridays and Saturdays, we usually have a backlog of people. We have a bunch of operators online taking calls, but we have more calls than operators. So they have to wait in a waiting line. Some people hang up, and some people are patient and wait on the line for their turn. But, some people are fun to talk to. Sometimes you get people stuck in elevators that call and you keep them calm while you tell them we already sent a message to someone to get you out. Sometimes it's restaurants that their freezers are on the fritz or something like that they have to call a repair person. Sometimes it's hospitals or other places that need an exterminator to come out for whatever reason. Sometimes it's a hazmat spill on the street that a police calls in for a hazmat team to go in. So we know, we get to these on-call people and send them out where they need to go. So that's good. I mean, you're helping people that way. You're really helping people that way. So that I don't mind. It's just when all the phone calls are so back to back and you don't get time to breathe or to get up and get to the bathroom after several hours of answering the phone. Sometimes that gets difficult. So that's what I do for 32 hours a week. That's why I don't give you daily videos anymore. This is much more fun. But hey, a girl's got to pay her bills, right? I've been reading some neat things in the magazines about habits, about forming new habits. You can't get rid of old habits, but you can create new habits. You link them to something you already do habitually, or some kind of clue that every time you go past it, it's a reminder for this, that, and the other thing. So, like, you have a routine every morning, right? I bumped you, didn't I? I'm sorry. You get up in the morning, you go to the bathroom, you brush your teeth, you get back to the bedroom, you make your bed, you get dressed, you get downstairs for your tea or coffee, right? That's a routine every day. Well, if you wanted to, like, read a devotion or something, what you would do is link it somewhere in that. Like, after you make your bed, you sit down and you read a devotion and in a devotional book, or you read a little scripture and think about it while you're folding your clothes or while you're getting dressed. And it becomes a prayer while you're getting dressed. That kind of thing. So you link it to something you already do, and you also recognize the reward that comes with it. It's not just a matter of doing it for a number of days and then it automatically becomes routine. It's a matter of linking a reward to it. A reward that you recognize, a reward that it doesn't have to be instant, but instant gratification goes a long way, baby. When I get home from work, sometimes I have a glass of wine. That's a way to relax. And then I do some diamond painting while I listen to you guys on YouTube and watch my TV shows that I taped. What I'm doing is I slide my hand over the areas that I've just done, and you can feel if one of the drills is bumping up, and that means it hasn't been seated totally in. And I just pop it back down. Okay, that's that. See? And you hear it snap and it's in. Oop, well, a couple more stars down here I would have missed. I would have come back to them, no problem. As far as ministry goes, I'm still waiting, ever waiting to know when I can do part-time ministry again. I want to do some online ministry work, some online encouraging. I like to encourage you guys. And I think a lot of people are looking for their spiritual inspiration on their own timing. Like we all have busy lives, and Sunday mornings don't work for every Christian because they are they're busy. They got to work too. They've got to bring home the bacon. They're single families. They're, that kind of thing. So, and sometimes you go to for encouragement when you most need it. When you're feeling down, when you just are like low. And if there's something available online already, that seems to be a place to go. It's convenient, it's immediate. Now, I also believe that you shouldn't neglect the gathering of yourselves together, as Paul puts it. I think it's Paul. Maybe it was Peter, but I think it was Paul. So I think worshiping together in person is very powerful, and it's very necessary, especially when you share the rituals like communion and the sacraments together. I think that binds you together as the family of God. Okay, I'm coming from a Christian perspective. I don't mean to leave anyone out. I only know my Christian perspective. I am respectful to other, religions and ways of belief systems. So please don't take this as that I am dissing yours. I really don't mean it that way. I'm just talking about what I know best. So I'm eager to get back in the pulpit with people. I want to get online and encourage people and do online retreats and things, because I do spiritual direction as well. Basically, I like doing retreats. I like art retreats and that. And with my friend and I, we have a little a book we wrote together, and a retreat. It's not a business, but we like leading retreats together. So, and going on retreats together, but we haven't done that for a while, because now we're a couple states away. But anyway, I would like to get back into doing that, and I'm trying to be a dutiful little person, and because I said I was burnt out, somehow that translated to my supervisory team as, oh, I don't want to go back, to ministry. Well, I don't want to go back to administration. I never was into, trying to help a dying congregation survive. I want to help one thrive spiritually and activity level, and not all churches want to survive. They want to keep the status quo, and that's hugely different. That's not going to happen anymore. It's no longer the 1950s, but that's beating a dead horse as far as discussions in ministry go at this point. And let's see, I'm going to be doing some things coming up on using your extra diamonds. Probably going to be doing that a lot, because I have so many extra diamonds to use. And lots of ideas. So, much more than cover minders that I make on my own with them. Yeah. Let's see. See, I use my multi-placer at times. And there's 4 there, so I'm going to pick up a 4th here. Wiggle it just a little bit. Oop, I felt one off here. There it goes. Snap in. Here's one off from here from the last time. Gotta watch these little boogers. They like to pop up. I don't have trouble with Diamond Art Club, usually. But, alright, they were the stars. No, they were the L's, weren't they? Yep, they were the L's. Oh, I have some more L. I've also been reading on trauma. And how to beat ingrained PTSD, like from childhood stuff. Now, I'm going to be talking about trauma a little bit, so if this, I don't want it to trigger anybody. If you have some childhood stuff you're still dealing with, you might want to skip ahead. Do I have any letter P's in here? Do you see any letter P's or letter J's? I don't see any in this block, so. Right, I'm going to switch little things here. I do see F. Hey, I'm just using pink wax, and I'm still using the same goop in it. So I saw another type of goop that I wanted to try, but the putties don't work for me very well. The harder waxes in the blocks don't work for me very well. You see there's a video that I have that I was trying the hard way to make wax sticks out of my little hard wax blocks as a way to use those wonderfully delicious smelling waxes that I don't use in my pen. I'm just using the pink wax, guys, divas. I'm just using the pink wax, and I'm still getting the drills off the tray with still the same beginning smush. Alright. Do I get to the T's and the Y's soon? No, I have A's next. Don't have A's left. Do I have any turnarounds, like U-turns? Nope, no U-turns up here. Ah, I have Y's. Alright, I'm going to dump the Y's out. Okay, so we can't let our traumas keep us from living today. Now, I'm 60, and if I let my traumas take control of my life for too many years. I don't like being judged, so there are times when I put my head in my hands, so to speak. I don't like coming from a place of judgment where I think people are evaluating me for something. That's difficult when it comes to job interviews and things like that. And things that you need confidence in. I can speak in public now. I can speak to you guys easy enough. I can preach. God gives me the grace to get through that. Not get through it as in, oh, you know what I mean. God gives me the grace to be able to preach and enjoy it as I do so. I don't have any X's up here. I did those already. Nope, there's still some over here. All right. What I love about it, though, is encouraging people. I used to mentor some girls who had some difficulties in their life. And I would mentor them by just spending time with them and, answering their questions and trying to get them to think about their situations in different ways, in creative ways, so that they don't think they have one way, that there's only one way to deal with something, Everyone is creative in their own right. And I don't mean creative in a crafty way or an artistic way. I mean creative as in thinking out of the box style. No matter what job you have, you're creative. You have to think out of the box if you want to innovate at all. If you want to solve problems, you need creative thinking. And I like to help young women think outside the box. I want them to think creatively. No matter what their problems are, no matter what they're facing, what are some creative solutions? And I don't choose any solutions for them. I don't give them the answers because the answers are within themselves. The answers are within you. You know, people say, I don't have any choice. I don't have any choice. Well, yeah, everybody has choice. And it's a choice of lesser of two evils sometimes. It's a choice of choosing the consequences of the action. Because every action has a consequence to it. And I don't think some of today's young people, oh, here I sound really old now. I don't think some of today's young people understand that their actions have consequences. And it's not just consequences that they have to live with, it's consequences that are resting on the people that have to put up with their choices. I tell you, my son's so smart. He is impressing his boss right and left. And in addition to that, he first got an apartment like 10 minutes from work. And he was supposed to move into it at the beginning of the month. Okay, he goes in and gets the key the day before. And I said, well, did they freshen up the apartment from the last tenants? Well, they're going to. Well, did they do that yet? Did you see it? And it's a second floor apartment. And he goes in and he measures things. He didn't go in, okay? He gets the key. Sight unseen. He rents this apartment, sight unseen. They give him the excuse that, oh, because it's COVID, he can't go into somebody else's apartment. Well, isn't that what masks are for? He's fully vaccinated, by the way. So anyway, you'd think that's what the masks were for. I would never rent an apartment sight unseen, but he did. So anyway, he gets over to it and looks at it the first time, and he determines that none of his furniture is going to fit. It's a second floor apartment. It's at the top of the stairs, and you have to make this turn to get into the apartment, apparently, and to get his sofa and big TV or whatever else, his queen-size bed and whatever, into this apartment. It's not going to work. So he thought about it all week. I thought he was just thinking about it, but he was doing something too. Toward the end of the first week, he hasn't been in his apartment other than that one day, just to check things out. And he comes home, and I, on a Friday, and I say, hey, when are you getting into your new apartment? How did you solve your problem? He said, well, I went back into the rental office and I handed her the key, and she said, no, what are you handing me the key back for? He goes, I can't get into the apartment. This is why. And she said, oh, you mean you haven't been in there all week? No, he said, I haven't slept there once. Haven't gotten anything in, nothing. I just stepped into it to measure it. I knew it wouldn't work. So she goes out of her way to find him another unit, another apartment unit that his stuff will fit in. There was a couple more opening up. And she prorated it because he paid for a week that he wasn't able to use. And I thought that wasn't too bad. And I said, did you get to see this apartment first? No, this COVID thing. I said, that's not a thing. That's what masks are for. But when he did get into it, he did get to look at it then because the people had left, and he did measure it and see that it was what he wanted. So, of course, it was a little bit more expensive, and I'm thinking bait and switch maybe. I don't know. But I can't, he's 36. He's just starting out to live on his own and everything, and he's doing great at work. He's an adult. I can't just go jumping in and say, Mom's going to come to the rescue. And he wouldn't want that either. He wouldn't want that. So I have to stay out of it. I have to ask him what creative solutions he's come up with. And let him figure it out. You know, maybe next time he goes to rent an apartment, or he won't do it sight unseen. Because not every landlord is going to be that accommodating. You know, they've got your first month's rent, they've got your deposit, your security and all that stuff. They've got your money. They're holding you over a barrel. They could easily say, oh, tough luck. So this group was accommodating, and I'm very happy about that for him. But maybe next time he will not rent an apartment without looking at it first. So he's learned a lesson, and he came up with creative solutions. So I'm very proud of him. It doesn't pay to rescue people right away. You have to hang back long enough for them to solve their own problems. Because you can't do it for them. They don't learn anything that way. And who knows? I mean, what you think is a problem may not be a problem to them. Case in point. There are things that a very close, beloved relative thinks that I should be doing. You know, when I'm doing one thing, I should be doing something else. When I'm not doing that, I should have been doing something else. So why didn't I do that? And this isn't done, and you know, you could be doing this, and have you thought of that? And it just drives me absolutely bonkers. I'm 60 years old. I can figure things out for myself, and if I want things, if I don't care if my dishes aren't done that day, they'll get done. They'll get done. It may not be immediately. It may not be on the day that I dirty them. Heck, most days I only dirty a teacup. And I leave it in the sink for the next day. Okay? You know, or I make a sandwich, rinse off the plate, and that's it. But anyway, regardless. You know, I know that my standards are not the same as other people's standards. And it's frustrating to someone who thinks that my standards should be higher. Or at least what they would consider higher or better. Excuse me, my allergies. And I really don't have a problem with it. Do you have any people in your life that do that? Sometimes I just feel like I don't do anything right. Because lovingly, you know, these people want to do the, you know, see the best for me and that kind of thing, but lovingly, it's frustrating. I'm okay with it. When it becomes not okay, then I'll deal with it. Yeah, if I do dishes in my cup or plate or whatever every day, then I wouldn't have to go back and, you know, spend an hour or so doing it. But that way, if I spend an hour or so doing it, then I have my an Audible on, an Audible book read to me while I'm doing it. And that way I get a chapter or two read while I'm doing my dishes. So, I'm just not, you know, sometimes I just like to sit down with a glass of wine and watch TV and not have something in my hand to do all the time. And, alright, just because you would do it one way doesn't mean I have to do it that way too. Just because you like to go out and visit Doesn't mean I do it that way. I could make phone calls. I love writing cards and writing notes and expressing myself that way. I don't always go to visit. Okay, if somebody calls me, I spend time with them, but I don't stop all the time and think, now who could use a phone call today? I have friends and I really love talking to them. And it upsets some of them when I don't call them right away, but I get in my mind something I want to do and I'm in the middle of doing it and my mind is in that path and I'm doing it and I could do it for hours without coming up for air. And some friends feel neglected because I'm so hyper-concentrated on things that I just don't think of anything else, and all of a sudden the time is gone. And where did it go? I don't do it on purpose. That's just the way it is. See, I have to clean out the tray before I put any new ones in. That's just the way I do it, see? That one's not even the right color. Hang on. Shaky, shaky. And there we go. Ah, you weren't in. I knew it. Still on the same goop. And again, this is an everlasting tip, so they may make a difference too. It holds the goop, more goop in it than those little brass ends do. I believe this pen, if you're interested in where the pen comes from, I believe the pen was from Jim's Diamond Painting Pens. It's a 3/4 size. It's not a mini short one and it's not a long one either. I like the 3/4 size. I'd much rather have that size than the others. If I'm working under a magnifying lamp and I have something on the other end here, it bumps the lamp, I can't get it close enough. But a short one or a 3/4 size fits my hand. And oh, there's the percent. See now? I have to go back and get those percent signs. They were in the other carton, but I'll get that after I'm done this one. And that's why I just go carton to carton, tray to tray, and then I go back a second time if I need to, which it looks like I do. Yeah. Well, so that's the major complaint in my life, I guess, right now. That I'm not being allowed back into ministry fast enough, and that there's so many churches around here that need a part-time minister, that need just someone to come in and fill the pulpit while they're looking for another minister. There are some that just, just want someone to help bury them, It's funny, but it's not funny, but I've noticed that when I first get to a church, and it's almost like some of the people, the older people, are waiting to see who is coming in the pulpit, who is coming to help them cope with their losses, their grief. And then when they know and they trust that person, then they think it's okay to go. My first parish that I was at, I was there for 12 years, I had 8 funerals in 3 weeks. It was a lot, but you know what? I got to know parishioners very well. And it was after I had visited some of the sick and shut-ins. It's like, okay, I know who my minister is now. I know he'll be doing my funeral. And I feel comfortable with that person. So if God wants to take me home, I'm ready. It just feels that way sometimes, which is funny, but that's just the way, whoop, no, yeah, that's just the way it works. All right, they were the plus signs. Did I leave any plus signs open? Yes, I did. Stinkers. They like to hide. There they are. 1, 2, 3 up here. I like confetti. I mean, it's a little frustrating when you leave a few and you have to go back, but who said, who said you have to be perfect? I don't, and I'm not, so I can't, and I won't. Right? All right, now this is out of drills, so I have to go look in my stash for 3861, and no, it's not Diamond Art Club out of drills. It's that I just don't have enough in my pot there, so I have to go find a 3861, and it's up right there. Ta-da! Ooh, those are all the ones I have left. 3861. All right. I may not be using that drill very much more in this picture. Here we go. You tired of hearing me talk yet? And I didn't talk about trauma anyway. I'm learning. I'm learning about self-care. I'm learning that it's not selfish to take some time to do your diamond painting. It's not selfish to take some time to read a good book. It's not selfish to take some time to call a friend. It's not selfish to take 5 minutes extra in the shower and just stand under the water and let it sluice down your back. It's not selfish to take a walk when it's warm outside and take pictures of the flowers that are peeking out of the snow. It's not selfish to have a glass of wine, after work. Now, granted, you have to ask your doctor if it's, medications if you can have wine with your medications, just 1 glass at night. Please don't, please don't think that I'm, please don't take your medication with alcohol without checking with your doctor first. I'm going to get myself in trouble here by getting you in trouble. But anyway, I'm learning other ways of caring for myself. Okay, let's just say washing dishes. Washing dishes is a way to care for myself in that I like seeing a clean counter. Alright, that goes against what I just said. I don't want to do my dishes right away. But it's true. I like seeing a clean counter. I never really looked at the reward of doing it before. But if I like seeing a clean counter, then I'm going to have to keep my dishes clean and put away. Okay. So then I find a habit that I can link it to, and a habit or a trigger in some ways. So my habit might be when I make myself another cup of tea and there's a few dishes sitting there. Get her done. Get them done. Get them over with. Just take the 5 minutes and just get them done. And then stand there and reap the reward of a clean counter. Reap the reward of seeing a shiny, sparkly stovetop instead of having it packed with dishes that I have to do. Right? Take some time to look at that reward. So instead of, and that's self-care, that caring for yourself, allowing yourself to earn little rewards like that is self-care. and recognizing what little things make you happy. You know, those of us who are moms, we spent a lot of our time helping our kids and our grandkids and our great-grandkids. We spent a lot of our time doing things for our husbands or boyfriends or significant others and catering to everybody else's whims at work, at home, wherever. We don't know how to care for ourselves. We don't know how to take the time to say, no, let it be about me for a little while. It's not selfish to do that. You have to. You've heard the saying, you can't pour from an empty cup. You know, and the oxygen mask scenario. The airlines tell you to put your oxygen mask on first before you help someone else, because that will save yourself. You can't help save someone if you're not safe yourself. Right? Does nobody any good. So, yeah. Anyway, so you need to be good to yourself.